Hey fellow leaders, welcome to today's Military Writing Smarter in 6 segment, Why Stress Over Correctness, coming at you from the Military Writing Command Center. We need to always prioritize 3 things in every piece of writing that we do: the content, the clarity, and the correctness. I know that English grammar can feel like learning a foreign language, and it may not come easily to you, but I've got some great ways to make this simple and straightforward so you can avoid making distracting correctness errors. Let's dig in. Let's call this a pep talk, even though it's more like commiserating. To quote George Washington's character in Hamilton, "Can I be real a second, for just a millisecond?" I'm with you. Grammar, when you're only focusing on grammar, is complicated and boring and so full of its own terminology that it gets confusing almost immediately. It feels like an impossible list of rules to learn that's like trying to memorize another language. If you felt this way before, then you're so right. I mean, it's definitely not impossible to learn the rules, but even I don't like getting bogged down in the technical terms with the past participles and dangling modifiers and the subjunctive and accusative. I want to write correctly, but even I, with a master's degree in English and 2 semesters of graduate-level grammar and editing courses under my belt, really bristle when it comes to talking the grammar lingo. Look, if we didn't all have to abide by standard academic English when we write our college essays, I would just skip this topic entirely. But we all know that this is a make-or-break issue for writers. We can't be seen as serious writers and thinkers if our grammar, punctuation, and capitalization are all jacked up. It is very important that you provide your reader a smooth, easy experience with your written work. Even if your claims, evidence, analysis, and critical thinking are all incredible in your essay, you will inadvertently sabotage your grade if you don't get your correctness issues under control. A professor just can't justify giving you an A or a B or even a C when punctuation and grammatical problems are rampant, no matter how strong your ideas are. Fact. You can't do a good job with editing and revising your drafts if you don't truly understand what constitutes a correctness problem. When we're talking about writing, and especially about punctuation and commas, we're usually talking about sentences, clauses, and phrases. First, a warning. Please don't get all huffy in the next minute or so, certain that this lesson is way too basic for you. You might roll your eyes and think, clauses and phrases? Subjects and predicates? Really, Kristen? Isn't this elementary school stuff? Well, yeah, it is elementary school stuff, but it's just a fact. It's likely that you haven't reviewed these basic building blocks of grammar since elementary school, middle school at best. So here's what you need to know about a clause. A clause is a group of related words that contains both a subject and a predicate. The topic of the clause is the subject, and what is said about the subject is the predicate. The student apologized for being late. Usually, but not always, the subject tells the reader who or what is doing something. The civil engineering majors completed a mandatory internship. West Point, a military academy, is located north of New York City. Maple syrup spilled all over her sweater. We'll be discussing both complete subjects and predicates as well as simple subjects and predicates. When I talk about a complete subject or a complete predicate, I'm asking you to give me every word that can be defined as the subject or predicate of a clause, the whole thing. Here's what I mean. Notice that I've highlighted the complete subject here, which is every word in the noun phrase that makes up the subject of the clause. My friends from my team. All but one of the students who received tutoring last year. Similarly, I've underlined the complete predicate, which is every word in the verb phrase that makes up the predicate of the clause. Wish they could take my professor for their writing seminar. Passed organic chemistry in the spring. Sometimes it will be very important for us to talk in terms of the simple subject. Instead of wanting every word in the noun phrase, I'm now asking you to give me only the main noun or pronoun of the subject. The simple predicate means you will identify only the main verb or auxiliary verbs that are found in the predicate of the clause. Here are the same sentences we looked at just a minute ago, but this time we're looking only for the simple subject and the simple predicate. Friends wish. All past. I've highlighted in yellow the complete subject of each sentence, and I underlined the complete predicate, all of the words that make up the predicate. But if we were only wanting to identify the simple subject and the simple predicate, we could do that, and I've placed the simple subject in italics and highlighted in blue the simple predicate. In order to get your sentence structure correct, you have to be able to identify your subject and your predicate. You've got this. I hope this Smarter in 6 segment really resonated with you. Correctness really does matter in your writing because errors can totally trip up your reader, and we want our readers to be paying attention to our content, not our funky grammar and punctuation. You know I'm here for you, and I'm excited to guide you toward being a more confident, capable writer. Like and subscribe down below, and until next time, I got your 6.